this tapestry of a world, I am the rogue thread.
Where was it supposed to go? Oh.
One of the Fon Valencia's trophy rooms. Perhaps you would like to take a look around after your audience with the Lord Captain.
What's happening? Run! The saboteurs have gone berserk!
Into the fray we charge.
You've been ambushed. The battle begins. To survive in the grim darkness of the far future, you will have to face enemies of all kinds and fight for your life. These hints and tutorials will familiarize you with the combat system of Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader. Click on the bottom of the top of the screen to begin the battle. You're dead, bitch. Oh. Oh, God. Joint analysis. All battles in the game are turn-based and take place on a grid. On their turn, a character can move, attack, and use their abilities. Select a cell within the highlighted area and double-click L and B on it to move the character there. Movement points determine how far a character can move on their turn. 1 MP corresponds to 1 cell in the battlefield. Moving diagonally is more costly. Every second diagonal cell uses 2 MP. At the beginning of each turn, movement points are restored to their maximum value. Note that once the character starts moving, the action can no longer be cancelled. What's her ability? War Hymn. Grants momentum equal to 10. This ability also grants an additional 5 momentum for each enemy that is either in 5 cell radius around the devotee or was hit by the devotee this turn. What's momentum? I can't even click on it. Voice of command. 1 friendly creature within a 10 cell radius. The officer forces an ally to fully push themselves, increasing their characteristics by 14 for 1 round. Additionally, all the officer's abilities can be applied to the target of voice of command from any distance. All the officers. Oh, okay. A character who becomes a target of voice of command cannot be targeted by this ability again for the next 2 rounds.
Schemes within schemes.
Okay, how do I cancel?
They're powerless to act.
Oh no, did I actually already use that? No, I didn't, right?
What?
I did? Okay. Well. To make attacks or use abilities, a character must spend action point. Total display at the bottom of the screen. Every attack ability has a certain AP cost associated with it. The number of squares next to the icon of attack actions on the abilities indicate the AP cost. number of squares next to the icon. Okay. When you target an enemy with a single shot, you will see two areas denoting the weapon's effective and maximum fire. Certain abilities in the game are considered attack actions and can be used once per turn unless affected by specific talents or other abilities a character may have. If a character performs an attack action, they will not be able to attack again and will lose their remaining movement points until the start of their turn. Jeez, we're not even doing damage.
A wicked thought.
When you're ready to end your turn, hit space. Oh, bitch, you're dead.
I won't sully myself with that. A genius at work. The storm approaches. Let's see.
Perception and ballistic skills. Lord. That dodge. Dang. He can dodge everything.
Death to the heretics!
Characters with melee weapon block adjacent enemy ability to perform the attack with ranged weapons. Pistol and shotguns are an exception to this rule. Those can be fired at point blank.
I am powerless to act.
Nice.
What suspiciously poor timing for such an accident. Servitors malfunction on the officer's deck at exactly the same moment when the rogue trader and their heirs are gathered here. I have blocked all passages between the upper and lower sectors of the residential decks. If this is a deliberate attack, it should stop the culprits from advancing their plan.
Piece of technology used to communicate over short distances or to record sound. Vox caster. Spread out. No one is allowed to enter the premises. Station.
I'm afraid I must remain here. For Lady Theodora's safety, I have to oversee the execution of these orders personally. I hope you will have no difficulty reaching the observation platform on your own. It is just at the end of this corridor.
The Master Whispers gives you a curt bow. Yeah, but where are we supposed to be going? I'm currently preoccupied with matters of our safety. You, on the other hand, have somewhere you need to be. The Lord Captain is expecting you. Do not try her patience. We came from over here.
Patience? My nerves are frayed.
So, I take it it's over here then. Your ladyship, do not worry. All threats have been eliminated. It is absolutely safe here. Oh, I guess it's not here. A violet alloy, which, upon closer examination, turns out to be handcrafted object, symbols carved with a primitive tool. Primitive tool are visible on the surface.
They will see. Oh yes, they all will see.
A black shard resembling obsidian. If you look closely, you can discern a strange, barely perceptible glow inside the artifact. A massive golden amalgam interspersed with sparkling particles. The stone on the pedestal is no doubt solid, but its surface shimmers and changes hue, as if someone has captured a piece of turbulent sea within the rock. A strange object that resembles sea coral. The porous surface is pitted, a sign that it has been underwater.
One step at a time, amidst the madness.
A gray-green crystal with white veins. A low hum can be heard coming from the artifact. The crew member is hard at work, bowing his head in fear and avoiding even looking at you. If I see you raise your head again, I'll hand you over to the tech priest for server. What was it? For Fukiit. Its exhibit is unfinished, but a symbol of House von Valencia's valor will be displayed here at some point in the future. Neiman Rest battle tank, reclaimed and restored by the grace of the God Emperor, the first to breach the capital walls during the pacification of Vortes Chaton. The wires of the servitor's head are still smoldering. It would seem the cause of this malfunction was the short-circuiting of the motive force. Tarantula sentry gun, construction with the blessing of the Adeptus Mechanicus, using a standard template construct in the manufactorums of Kiavagama.
Oh, what lies beyond? In this tapestry of a world, I am the rogue thread.
May His will strengthen my heart. May my humble deeds be the benefit of humanity.
There will be no peace in my wake.
I beg your pardon, your ladyship. After the incident with the servitor, the passage is closed to everyone until the arch-militant says otherwise. So where am I supposed to go? Over here, maybe? Huh?
Curiosity sings in my veins.
Praise be the machine god. Not here. Oh.
That is simply irrational, Lady Theodora. Assimilation into the trade structure would be political and economic suicide. Practically an admission of heresy.
Says the man dressed in peculiar garb, his voice tight with tension, his face, half of which is covered by sin skin, is twisted in a grimace of displeasure and disbelief.
Then suggest an alternative that will satisfy me. I have described the situation. No worse than my seneschal could have done. Make a decision. What will you do with Ion 6, Edelthrad?
The tall, gray-haired... That's gray. Gray-haired woman pins him with her gaze, her cybernetic eye flashing crimson. Now, are we gonna... Well, we're here to speak with her. Well, she's waiting... I guess she's not done with that conversation, so we'll just say... Let's survey the room. Your first impression of Edelthrad, who appears to be about 30 years old, is of parchment-like skin stretched over a tightly bundled mass of sinew, implants, and bone. The nervously twitching fingers, the face twisted by a slight tic, and the jerky movements are all signs of some illness or defect that has taken over his physical form. Do we even see him? No, here. Maybe we can't see him. In stark contrast to Edelthrad, Theodora von Valancius's features appear as if they were carved from marble, eternal and indestructible. Head raised high, proud posture, hands clasped casually behind her back. Everything seems to emphasize the difference in status between her and Edelthrad. Behind the two of them, you see two more men. One is gray-haired officer of impeccable bearing who is studying the content of his data slate. The other is a behemoth bristling with holsters and baldricks containing all manner of weapons. A data repository sanctified by the Adeptus Mechanicus to be used in conjunction with the cogitator. An electronic digital storage device similar to a tablet computer.
Our second candidate has joined us. Approach and give me your answer.
The dry female voice and the powerful feeling of being watched force you to look at Theodora. The rogue trader is looking straight at you, and her gaze, like herself, is predatory and oppressive.
Consider this hypothetical situation. Ion 6. A new world on the fringes of the Coronis expanse. High seismic activity, regular magma eruptions, metamorphic rock deposits, prospects for large-scale mining. The world is populated by natives who worship some heretical underworld spirits that protect those who offer them sacrifices. Flights of fancy, you might say, but attempts to install ore extractors have failed for the second time. The mining crews sent to the planet's surface simply vanished overnight. My question to you is, what would you do with this poisoned treasure?
Your character skills reflect their knowledge and capabilities. Some dialogues automatically initiate passive skill tests. If such a test succeeds, new information will be revealed or a hidden dialogue option will unlock. If your character is traveling with allies, the party member with the highest score in the applicable skill is selected for each given passive skill. Oh, we're gonna pick from the two that I consider successful responses, I guess.
Reasonable and prudent. However, chasing after ethereal creatures may prove a rather long and fruitless endeavor.
Apart from Xenos, an untrodden planet might be teeming with myriad horrors that are far more dangerous and difficult to eradicate. I suspect that you are simply unaware of their existence.
I really like the third response here. I find your tone most disagreeable, Adelthrad. You will kindly alter the manner in which you address me, or else you will live to regret the consequences.
Well, I find your company disagreeable, and yet I'm forced to endure such.
Edelthrad, I believe I gave you an assignment on this ship. Explain to me then why my senior congregator is still dawdling about the officer's deck, instead of proceeding to the middle decks to commence the inspection of the compartments in his purview.
I beg your forgiveness, Lady Theodora. Your presence has such a profound effect on me that I well forgot the time.
Ethelred bows ceremoniously and takes his leave without sparing you another look.
So, why are you here?
Was it not you who sent for me?
You have seeded the opening that was offered to you in a woeful display of meekness. Admittedly, this tendency is equally strong in all who toil in the Emperor's service. Immutable hierarchy, absolute obedience, lick-spittlery, compulsion to please. I value none of these things. From the moment my envoys came for you, the terms of your existence changed. My name is Theodora Pon Valancius Massimo of Scaris. I am a rogue trader in the service of the God Emperor of humanity, and my rights and freedoms are vindicated by a most sacred relic. The warrant of trade, kept aboard this very vessel. Mine is the honor to venture into the darkness, beyond the Imperium, and carry humanity's light where powers wicked and heretical reign, and both death and ruin to us all. It is my decision alone to determine the fate of whatever I find past the bounds of the explored void. Every world I discover, along with all there is to find thereon, resources, people, riches, and mysteries, is mine by right. I command millions of lives, rule over numerous planets, and possess fortunes that no planetary governor or commander could dream of amassing. And you are one of those with Fon Valancius blood in their veins and a rightful claim to this inheritance when the hour comes.
One of? Does this mean there are other heirs?
Naturally. Some have yet to arrive on board, but you have had the pleasure of meeting one of them. Ethelred may be somewhat disconcerted by the scale of the responsibilities that may potentially fall upon his shoulders. However, I have a good feeling about him as a candidate. Blood right alone is not enough to earn the high honor of becoming the bearer of a warrant of trade. Nonetheless, your abilities and talents may yet prove useful. If not for the role of Lord Captain, then for that of their closest ally. Alas, even those responsibilities can at times be too challenging for those who share your blood. Kunrad Voitvir served me for many years before he made his mistake.
If you're satisfied with Ethelred, then what sense is there having this conversation? Why are you wasting your time on me?
Impatience. I am rather fond of impatient people. They are not as quick to resign themselves to circumstance and more eager to show initiative. Even if I do choose Ethelred as my successor, I will still require loyal advisors. The skills and knowledge you acquired in your former life may prove invaluable here, in the Coronis Expanse. A priest of the Adeptus Ministorum. I never would have thought that someone of my house would become one. Spare me the recital of your dogmas on humility and service. I am well aware that the ecclesiarchy is no less versed in matters of logistics than the hair splitters from the administratum. When your commercial interests are hidden behind a facade of concern for humanity's souls, any action you take will raise far fewer questions than it would otherwise.
I read that. Adeptus Administratum. Bureaucratic organization of the Imperium responsible for levying tithes, distributing resources, and performing countless other administrative functions. The heart of the gigantic bureaucracy that controls the government of the Imperium of Man. The Administratum is divided into myriad departments, offices, and subordinate organizations that control millions of human worlds throughout the galaxy.
Moreover, even changing your family name will not rid you of the fame you previously garnered. I hope it will also help you bring glory to the Von Valancius dynasty, to which you now belong.
Well, your illustrious glory made you famous far beyond the bounds of your home system, but I can't. Nothing. Did I hear you correctly? The Master of Whispers is related to you?
His kinship to me is most distant, as is yours. Nonetheless, he does bear the name Von Valancius, even if he avoids using it publicly and, as such, strictly speaking, can be considered my heir. That door, however, is closed to him. Voigtvir's performance in his current role is satisfactory. Or it used to be, at least.
It's all too sudden for me.
Perhaps. Yesterday you were just another servant of the Imperium, one of the faceless multitudes. Today, visitors in the Von Valancius colors come to you without any explanation and escort you to a vessel that departs for the far-off Coronis expanse. But such is the nature of my position. My claim on you is sacred and non-negotiable. I require all those who possess even a drop of the Von Valancius blood, no matter who they may be.
Scattered, poorly explored region in the frontier of the Imperium, full of fearsome Xenos treasures, heathen worlds, and echoes of ancient doom. A scattered collection of a few young colonies of the Imperium, the Coronis Expanse possesses virtually untapped natural wealth, and its war space is treacherous and unexplored, while rogue traders vie with one another for both known and hidden resources as they strive to build their protectorates. Pirates, Xenos, and servants of the Dark Gods terrorize the Expanse, eager to cast fear and destruction upon humanity. Thank you for clarifying. May I ask my questions now?
I have some time before the navigator gives the signal to initiate the void ship's translation out of the warp, and my presence is required on the bridge.
Ascension noble mutant whose genes allowed them to safely guide a warp-capable void ship through the warp. All navigators have a third eye on their foreheads, which enables them to guide void ships through the warp. Without the navigators, there simply would not be an Imperium of Man, but traveling between all but the very closest star systems would be too onerous and dangerous. An alternate dimension of pure energy and madness existing as a mirror to real space, also known as the Materium. The Empyrean, the ether, the sea of souls, or warp space. It is a source of all psychic powers and home dimension of the powerful entities known as the Chaos Gods and their respective demons. The warp also functions as the medium for faster than light's interstellar travel for humanity, and rumored by many species to be the final place of the spirits of the dead. An incident took place on the officer's deck. Some servitors went berserk and attacked the crew.
Is that so? Perhaps the technomats were careless during maintenance. Or it could be the warp playing tricks on us in spite of the Gellerfield. Or perhaps there is something to all the stories about the ship being possessed after all.
Lady Theodora, for the God Emperor's sake, surely you do not intend to start repeating idle rumors spread about by uneducated riffraff.
Enough, Abelard. Such hearsay amuses me. Idira eagerly retells me everything she learns from the whispers of her unseen advisors. This ship is thousands of years old. It has enough hidden nooks, malfunctioning cogitators, and unused compartments to make ignorant folks speak of specters dwelling inside the bulkheads and plotting against those who yet live.
Where's your ship headed?
The Rycat system, the domain of rogue trader Winterscale, one of my peers and rivals. Besides me, 2 other rogue traders exist in the Coronis Expanse, and each of them possesses resources comparable to mine. Perhaps you will one day assist House von Valancius in surpassing both of them in affluence and splendor. I set the course for Rykad on the demand that for a very specific reason. Perhaps I shall yet apprise you of the purpose for this voyage, but now is not the time.
What are my current responsibilities?
Observe, learn, absorb. It will take time for you to find your bearings aboard this vessel and in your new position. Eventually, I will find a post that suits you as I did for Edelthrad. Until that time comes, consider yourself my aide.
Gracious Lord Captain, sure there are ways I can prove myself a worthy heir?
You can start by not asking questions of this sort. I have no need for sycophants. I will draw my conclusions when an opportunity to prove yourself arises. As for when you will be granted that opportunity, only the God Emperor knows.
Navigator? Translation? What are these things that you speak of?
The Rycat system. I set the course. Sometimes I forget that people without direct access to a ship's bridge may not know the first thing about how a void ship travels between the stars. Vessels such as this one are capable of leaving real space and traversing into the warp, an otherworldly dimension of cruel and unthinkable forces. By entering it under the protection of the Gellerfield, we shorten the route to our destination, crossing distances that would require hundreds of years in a matter of weeks instead, sometimes in days or even hours. That is how humanity spread across the galaxy. That is how we were able to build the Imperium, which spans millions of stars. In that case, I shall head to... Disturbances reported on the adjacent decks. Seneschal, if the need arises, protect the new blood. It is possible that the chance to prove your worth may present itself sooner than you may have anticipated.
What an amusing attempt at defiance!
All of you will bleed!
seen worse battles than this in my time. I took care of this one.
Chaos guides me.
There's so many freaking enemies.
Death to non-believers.
Oh, my ears are ringing.
Crush the feeble. Even I won't do that. What? No. Schemes within schemes with claims. Another one.
What is this achievement I just got? 500 critical hits? That's my first one. I guess the achievement is bugged. I'll check to see how many people actually was able to get that achievement. Oh, it's counting. It's counting up. Okay. It's like that's the first out of the 500 achievements. It's so weird when it pops up like that.
Just a minor setback.
Out of my way.
Dang, he's gonna die.
Duty go hand in hand.
Death to the weak.
Wow,
My
nice.
place is at the fore.
Wow.
Reduced to dust. For the glory of the Imperium.
Make them bleed.
He's gonna die.
What if? Ah, another one is shattered.
If character has received temporary positive effect on allies, such effect enhance your character's capability in combat in such ways. Some ways to learn more with effect. You have gain over cursor of effect icon next to the character's portrait. Momentum. Oh, sorry.
I took care of this one.
Mort, take a team with you and clear a path to the transport line. Do not let a single whoreson survive. Didn't bat an eye when that scum burst onto the deck, huh? Not bad. I have seen many an officer who panicked at the sight of combat on the upper decks. The false sense of security offered by their position makes them that much more vulnerable to the harsh realities of warp travel.
From what we have seen, I can speculate that we are dealing with some variety of madness induced by warp travel. Such episodes are not uncommon among voidsmen who have found themselves outside the boundaries of real space, though such episodes seldom spill onto other decks.
Oh, the casters are not working, or have been sabotaged. Either the warp is toying with us, or someone went to great lengths to cut the ship's communications. I will need a direct channel to the engine seer prime before I can get a sense of what we are up against. Whatever it may be, keep your weapons at the ready. I imagine it will be some time before we no longer need them.
Tech priest with specializations in maintenance, repair of sacred machines. The incident with the rampaging servitors may be connected to what is transpiring now.
Possibly. Quite likely. We will investigate at a later time. Right now, we need to isolate the affected compartments and try to assess the situation.
How could there be armed people in the ranks of the crew who would dare to attack the Lord Captain?
Trust me, this is hardly surprising for a crew of thousands. The lower decks are a fertile environment for discontent and heresy, no matter how one tries to incinerate any seed before it can take root. All it takes is a hint of warm influence to cloud the minds of normally obedient cattle.
Sporadic riots on the lower decks never reach these compartments. No, the tumults of the rabble are always contained within their own territory. This is too well organized. It is spreading too rapidly. Mort has gone on ahead to clear a path for us. If you want to make yourself useful, go after him and see if the Arch-Militant requires aid. And be quick about it.